Gwen Preston of Resource Maven. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver in January, and I'm joined by Brandon Macdonald of Fireweed Zinc.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Fireweed, just to set the stage, you have a large high-grade zinc asset in Yukon with a PEA that already is good, right? It already works. And so the way that I like to talk to people about the story is any way that you can add to that is basically gravy, right? You take a mine that already works and then you add more stuff to it. So that's really been management's drive at Fireweed, is not just to find more tons, but to find value add tons. So you did one thing, I mean, you had quite a few successes up this summer, up there in the north this summer, but the Boundary Zone, I think, is a really cool example of how that's developing. So let's focus on that. What did you find at Boundary that was exciting? And then there's a geologic idea that even goes beyond that.
Yeah, so, you know, Boundary Zone had always been known as these broad, like very broad, like 200 to 300 meter intervals of low-grade zinc, like sort of everything from 1.5 to 3, a little bit above 3% zinc. So in a large low strip open pit, which is how we would conceive of it, you probably have some margin there. You know, this is not like this is not the sexiest, but it likely works. And we did some ore sorting testing that suggests we can upgrade that substantially, which may actually give you healthy margin there. But what we found in the drill holes we did was that when you hit the proximal to these growth faults, these fluid conduits, you can get bonanza grade. So we had 6 meters true width of 42% zinc. We had one meter interval that went for quadruple over limit. We ended up reporting it in our news release as more than 60% because we had question mark because we don't know when the lab's going to get us the results back. And they ended up titrating it like you'd test for concentrates.
I actually didn't know that. That's amazing.
So that was what they ended up having to fall back on. So it's a tremendous grade potential. And so.
So when you're looking for value, you're obviously incentivized to figure out what on earth is going on with these crazy high grade segments in an area that was thought to be a sort of boring low grade area. Yeah,
you know, the previous operators, Kaminko, had drilled there was some blips of good grade, sort of 6 meters of 20%, you know, like 10 meters of 12%, et cetera, you know, but nothing quite like what we saw. We thought these controls existed and we resurveyed their holes and kind of like thought, okay, we probably here, you know, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And we clearly hit something really good. So then the next question was, okay, so we've got these sheeted veins, these breccias, these massive, thick, banded veins there of sphalerite. Where on earth do we see this?
Yeah, what is the analog to this? Because that can help us figure out how we might find more.
Yeah, because it's not SEDEX, right? Because SEDEX is barite shale hosted, thinly laminated, right? So not what we were expecting, or not what we're used to looking for. So digging through the academic literature, we came across one of the new discoveries at Red Dog, one of the new satellite deposits, has what Tech calls the vein horizon. And we looked at the photos of this and we're like, that sure looks familiar. So we talked to some geologists who had worked Red Dog, and despite their initial skepticism, they looked at it and they're like, no, this looks exactly like what we see at Red Dog. And so then what happens there is these vein horizons hit these impermeable barite caps. So not only does that act as a physical trap, the barite itself provides a source of sulfide. So then you get this, it's a chemical trap, so you get these at the bottom of these big thick barite horizons, you get these massive sulfide, zinc lead deposits.
Zones,
So we know in the area of Boundary Zone, it's stratigraphically higher, there are barite deposits. Now the question for us is obviously this vein horizon can stand on its own with those sort of stellar grades we see. But if it's plumbed into a barite horizon, we might get these massive sulfide bodies that could be a true prize. So that's got us thinking, and that's probably going to guide our exploration this coming year.
I mean, that's pretty darn exciting. Going into 2019, it was an exciting exploration story because of the scale of the land position. Nobody had ever looked at the district scale, so there was a lot of, I think I was pretty optimistic because it was just a cool opportunity to see this. But now to come up with this sort of very focused idea that has a very significant prize if it works. I mean, that's fun for you.
Well, and it was serendipity because we did the ore sorting testing on Boundary and it worked, and we're like, okay, well, we should if it didn't work, we would never have drilled it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And because we didn't know that it had enough consistent grade potential that we found in these last holes. And if we hadn't whiffed on some of our other exploration targets, which one that we missed killed another, because when we realized what killed it, we're like, you know what,
it's not going to work over there.
It's not going to work over there.
Yeah.
So we had a bit of extra room in the drill budget. So we're like, well, let's go drill boundary. And we're like, okay, you know what, it's probably, this seems to be our best chance of getting these little snips of high grade that Kamenko got. And here we are. Right?
I mean, so lucky and good. Obviously, there's some planning. There's a bunch of knowledge. Lucky and good.
Yeah.
Fun times. Well, I look forward certainly to hearing what happens up there this year. Now you've got to get yourself set up and ready for another exploration season and be.
Yeah, I think this is about the most excited our team's been in a while. So it's going to be a good year for us.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for coming and updating us on the story.
Thank you.